Okay, perfect. So welcome to the law of attraction. We're going to dig into it. So a couple things came up that I really noticed. Most of you have heard of it. Most people don't know what the heck it is. Some do, but don't know how to use it. The Secret made it really popular, which is interesting because long before that, it actually came out in about the 1600s. So a little bit of history on it is the roots, sorry, 1900s. And it was called New Thought. So it was originally called New Thought, which is kind of interesting, right? And then it came out with The Secret. And I actually had the pleasure of working with Jack Canfield and Marie Diamond. Personally, I ended up like literally hugging, holding, healing. Yeah, it's kind of neat, right? So it's really near and dear to my heart, right? So law of attraction, you want to talk about it. So I literally put myself at a 3-day business thing where I was one of the main healers and I was healing the speakers and they both were the speakers and then a couple other kind of known people. So I've used it in everything. Everything. It's something that I think I fell into it when I was about 20, the idea of it. And then I loved Oprah Check It. Everybody knows Oprah. Yeah. Right? Like, hello, why don't we follow the biggest, smartest woman in the world? She kind of knows what she's doing, right? And she still preaches about it. So it's not just like a once and done or a trend thing. It became popular with The Secret. Everybody was doing it. But what happened is everybody thought it was a fad because there was missing pieces. I didn't quite understand it. And the book, The Secret, doesn't explain everything about it. So we've learned a lot since. Now, when we pull in the spiritual end of it, these are the pieces that are missing. So it's not just the business thing that everybody was like, give me money, I feel like I'm a millionaire, then I'm going to be a millionaire, which does help. But there's some things that we can make it work better. Okay? Good? Cool. So it's actually can be broken down to 3 pieces. So we know the law of attraction is the main thing, but one of them is like attracts like. So as Chantel said, so similar things attract similar things. Now, this is where it gets a little hokey for us. If you are feeling traumatic and you're feeling traumatized, you're feeling wounded, guess what you're attracting? Sure. So guess what? You're using it. Yay! We just want to shift how you're using it, right? So we want to celebrate that you're using it. That's amazing, right? And we're using it every single day, whether we know it or not. It's like gravity. It's happening. I don't care if you believe in it. It's still happening. The other piece is nature adores a vacuum. Right? We know this when we have the kitchen table and there's nothing on it. It's clean. We finally cleaned it. And then people put their shit on it. It doesn't matter what happens within 24 hours, that damn thing is full again. So when we release, we do our work, we get rid of this inner childhood, the wound, we cry, whatever it is. If we don't fill it with something, it's going to be filled with something we may not want. Right? So this is power of intention too. So if we clear things, we do a great clearing, we did the full moon thing, we must decide what's going to go in that space. Because whether we like it or not, something will go in that space. Right?
So is this the spiritual aspect?
This is the energy aspect of it. Okay. Yeah. So this is energy. So when we talk about like energetically, let's say you've done a full moon clearing, right? Most people here have done full moon clearings. No? Okay. Say you just had a nervous breakdown in the grocery lineup. You're just crying. You're exhausted. You're done. Right? You've cleared it. You finally feel good. You get that like, okay, I just needed a good cry. You go out to the car and your husband calls you and yells and screams at you again. It's just going to fill up that space with all that bullshit. Right? Or you take a minute and you go, thank God I had a good cry. Now I want to start feeling better about myself. I want to work out. I want to go to the gym. I'm really loved. I'm really cared for. It's good that I have this thing. And you fill it up with something else. So now what happens is that hole is now filled with something positive. So now we can attract positive, right? If we have an empty and everything else around it is negative, we're just going to keep pulling more negative in to fill the hole.
That is like that might be like the take home of this.
Oh, yay! Yeah. We're 2 minutes in. Thank you. Yeah, so if you think of it like a donut, if the donut, everything around it, you still have that hole in the middle, the donut's still going to keep attracting. right? So every time you release it, that wound, that healing, if you don't take care of filling it up with something good, you're going to keep doing it. Sweet. Third thing is the present is always perfect. It really is the only thing we can control. So if you really want to access the law of attraction, you really want to make it work for you, you decide right now, right this second, what's amazing. Right? If you're trying to attract love, you need to feel where you feel love now. Right this second. And it could just be the body. Right? That's okay. You don't need 40 people to love you. You just need one. And then it builds. It gets bigger and stronger. So these are some of the main things about the law of attraction, why people don't quite understand it, because these are the depths. So the first one would be like attracts like, this is again energy, vacuum is energy, and then the feeling perfect, that's an emotional, mental thing that we can do. So then we have our physical. So the physical thing's a little bit tricky because it's usually based on genetics. That's why we look like our family. Right? So we're physically going to attract things. So this aligns really well if you are like, this is like a status, a class thing, a health thing. If you want to be super in shape, but everybody you know in your life isn't in shape, you're going to have to do a little bit different work to think it's possible. Right? Because even if you want it, if at your core you don't believe it's possible, it's not going to come. Right? If you want to be in a happy, loving relationship, but everybody you see is divorced, it's really difficult. You're going to have to do a different kind of work to attract that healthy, loving relationship. Make sense? Yeah.
So what you're saying is you got to be kind of realistic.
You have to believe it, right? So if I say I'm going to win $1 million, but I don't believe that that's possible, it'll never happen, right? There has to be a connecting piece to it. So what you do is you start with smaller steps, right? So I know it's possible to find a loving relationship. So now what we've done is we haven't maybe necessarily attracted love, but we've attracted the possibility of love, right? All of this is going to be an inside story. You can't fake it. You can't lip service it. You got to feel it. Right? So what we want to do, let's look at some of our cores. So has anybody heard of core values? Yeah, kind of. They're kind of like the bases that make us up. Now, we'd like to think that they're integrity and honesty and all those things. But there is that like little, like, I believe I have to work hard. I believe I have to suffer. I believe I have to, that there's, all men are idiots. I don't believe, just most of it. So we have this core, like, secret stuff going on underneath. So one of the biggest things about making the law of attraction actually work for you is you got to dig in. And you got to kind of be honest about it. Tony Robbins teaches a big thing on this. Does anybody know who Tony Robbins is? So again, we're bringing this business into it. Tony Robbins, he's like a major mentor. Yeah. Like, have you been living under a rock? But he does it like on a grad scale, and it's amazing. What he teaches is really, really, really cool. And he charges like $8,000 for basically what I'm teaching you today. I've worked on 2 of his VIP groups. You're welcome. Now, why does he not get the results though?
Why does he get the results?
Yeah, so he sees way more people, so he gets more results. But why, even though they pay $8,000, why do you think people can't do it?
Well, it's probably
Yeah.
I probably just integrating it into their lives. Maybe is probably an aspect of it.
That's a
Like
big piece.
continuing
Yeah.
with it, right? Because you're all done home when you're out of when your emotions on it, it's for it phase. As soon as you're removed from it, you
Yes.
have to now fall through as well work.
Yeah. So this is where like attracts like again. So you're here and you guys are all pumping each other up. This feels good. God, we're gonna go out there, it's gonna feel amazing. But then you're gonna go home and somebody's gonna yell at you for not taking out the garbage. That's gonna be a little hard. And then it's getting a little hard to do, a little hard. And then the further you get away from me, it gets harder and harder and harder. right? If you got to hang out with me every day or do something every day, it's going to get easier, right? So this is where things like consistency really, really, really helps because you've been programmed your whole life to live one way. If you want to start activating the law of attraction, you need to shift your programming. Right? And that takes an everyday thing. Nobody's going to fucking give this life to you guys. I don't know who thinks that they're just going to walk out and everything's going to be handed to them, or that it would be awesome if it was. Right? How many rich kids are just snots?
Or miserable.
Speaking. Right. No depth at all. No depth. So part of it, and part of this, the core belief of it being not necessarily hard, but that it's enjoyable when we work for something, we can shift. Right. So when we start understanding really how humans are, instead of just living that fantasy, oh, I just want to win the lottery and somebody come do my house and do my car and all that. We waste so much energy thinking that. We waste so much energy saying, oh, I wish I could just quit my job. Okay, well, instead of focusing on that, how could we make the most of this job? How could we invite in even better? Right? So this is what I'm talking about, your core values. So an example of a core value might be freedom, financial success, accomplishment, love, family, creativity, or fun. I would like you guys to take a minute and write down what do you think your core values are at this time. And I want you to be super honest if it is that life is hard, that we're in a recession, that the world is shit, that there's poison, that we're going to hell in a handbasket. Does it sound like the news? Anybody hear the news? So if you could write 6 things that come to mind. And try to be honest and at least write one that's crappy. You don't want to participate?
You have to be honest. If you're not honest,
Also, this is what's hiding from you. And this is the reason why you're not attracting the life you want. Yeah. Once you like tap in, like I'll find that one that's sitting in there that I was fed when I was 4. And I'm like, what the hell? You know, this is a never ending work thing too, guys. It's not like a once and done. It's something that might require a little bit more. You don't have to participate. I just asked if you wanted to participate. No worries. When you get your 6, I'd like you to rate what do you think is the most prevalent in your life. So not necessarily most important, but most every day you actually live this core value. So like I said, it could be something about the world is hard, or there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the last 5 years. Now remembering these are core values, so they're going to take a little bit to shift them. But be as honest as you can today. No peeking, Mom. Don't sit back down. Actually, that in itself is beautiful. That'll really help. That'll help. Yeah, that'll help. Thank you. Okay, when you're ready, I just want to hear what your number one was. Let's start at this end. What's your number one core value? Okay. What's your number one core value? Don't make it up on the fly. You're doing it in your head. We're gonna go with family for you. Number one. Perfect.
Family,
Okay.
living in Jamaica.
I love it. Number one core value. Perfect.
Kindness. Gift.
Ah, okay, cool.
Is that
Give, not invest. Okay. Sweet.
word?
Yes. Ah, there's the juice. People are a bad investment. What kind of people do you think he's attracting? Trust. Yeah, do you know anybody to trust? What kind of people do you think you're investing?
The right ones.
Family. What happens when we put family first? You put yourself last. Thank you, darling.
Disappointment.
Oh, we believe family's a disappointment. Oh, now we're getting to some juicy things. Guess what? We're attracting more shit to be disappointed by. Yeah. Oh, I like it, right? Light bulbs are going off. Anybody else want to share? Yeah, what was yours? Connection. So what do you think you're getting?
It does get projected, but it's all because
Right. So maybe you're connecting to not necessarily the things you want,
like
right?
I was
So yeah, in your case, it would be there's no discernment of who you're connecting with. Everything's connected.
Can I add to? 'Cause
Yeah.
That was on my connection. There's no formula for it. So it's an individual. We all have.
Right.
So it can be so if you cannot connect to two different people the same way. It's very individual.
Yes, absolutely. The challenge with it, and this is when people want money, it's actually the core is not usually money, it's lack, right? Because you're missing connection. So even though your core value is connection, it's really because you're missing it. So this is why we're getting that backwards thing of the law of attraction working for us, but we've placed the wrong order, right? We keep saying more places to feel lonely, more places to feel disconnected, more places to not trust, more places to put myself last, more places to get shyster, more places. And nothing's wrong with this. I just want to really shine a light of what's going on already.
so the core is locked up.
Usually. Yeah. So then you're now beautifully attracting all those things you requested. So yay, we're master manifestors. I'm proud of every single one of you. I'd like you to go home and change your orders though. So I'd like you to make a couple things that you do want instead. So just because they were your cores, they're not serving you. That's why you're here. So I want you to know that at any time you can change this bullshit. Right? People are like, no, if that's your core, that's your core. And if you're not doing it, you're inauthentic. You're not your true self. Okay. Well, I learned something new, so I want to change it. Right? This is where we get stuck. And that's actually ego speaking, and that's not serving you. And you get on the damn cartwheel and you can't get out. Right? So good things to bring in might be self-respect, self-love, health, senses of accomplishment, opportunities. Right? So what you need to do, you need to believe it's possible. So even if you don't have it now, you just have to believe it's possible to find more trustworthy people, to attract more pleasure in my life, to find more things that light me up, to find people that give as much as I do. I know people that give as much as you do. Yeah, I did. You know, my goal for this, or my lesson for this week actually was really kind of fun. It was learning to receive. I learned how to receive on a massive level this week. and it felt really good. Just so you know, was there initial like, oh, I don't need to do that? Yeah, because it feels vulnerable to receive. It feels really good to be the giver because we're in control, right? But when we're allowing ourselves to receive, that's a different muscle we're stretching, right? So Wednesday I had my hair done by one person. Thursday I got flowers. Friday I had my hair done by 7 people. I was like, okay, I think I won this game. And it occurs to me, I was like, that was my lesson. But they eased me into it. They went, right? And now next week we're going away and I'm going to allow myself to be cared for and pampered and somebody else to take the reins, which is what I really need. Because if you don't receive, it's like breathing out all day. You're going to suffocate. It's great you're breathing out. It's wonderful. But if you don't breathe in, you're going to eventually pass out. So write down some things you do want to bring in your life, even if it's just 3. Less is more, actually. So if you focus on one thing and you really focus on that one thing, and then you can see results, it's amazing. And I want you to have fun doing this. Because fun is good. And if you need help, let me know. It's kind of something I regularly tap in and make sure I'm tracking the right things. Now remember, it can be more than one word. I could be like, I want to be ridiculously rich. I want to be ridiculously rich, just so you all know. I'm attracting it. I am ridiculously rich, to be honest, in so many aspects. The bank account is invited to grow as well. I am, but I am ridiculously rich. The kind of scary thing about this and that sucks is it's a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week job, right? You can't run away from it. And if you spend 6 days a week focusing on the negative and then just 1 day a week focusing on the positive, you're not really going to get that result that you want. Right? So again, you have to be honest with yourself. So some things that you can do to bring it in is number 1, let's be grateful. Write down what you're grateful for. Let me count this. 1,000. And try to be a little bit more creative with it. I am grateful for my sassy attitude. Number 2 is a fun kind of game and it stretches your imagination. Pretend like it's already here. So when we're little girls and we're pretending to be princesses, I really felt like I was a princess, right? I mean, I got my dad chauffeur. My sister and I would say, take us to McDonald's. We would pretend to be princesses. So as a grown up, the more you can play in this game, the better. As a grown up, when I really want to do fun things, I go shopping for Mercedes with my girlfriends that can afford it. I go house hunting for like $3 million houses. It's kind of interesting. I just played this game. I went and looked at a property that was about 4 million. And I realized on the property, I could make the income to support the mortgage. I was like, oh shit, that doesn't feel as out of reach as I thought. Okay. So guess what I'm starting to bring in? What are we? Because if we don't play this game or even like literally live in this game, it feels like it's unattainable, right? It's for somebody else. It's for them, not for us. And you'll never get there. My mom and I always used to play this game. We had such a good time. When I was young, we used to sell like Party Light and Diet Cookies and Amway and all these things. And we would go to these very, very, very well off houses and we would dress to the nines and everybody thought we had tons of money and we did not. But it was amazing and we always made our situation better and things came out of nowhere and it was always as opposed to just showing up and I wish I had this, God, I wish I lived here, right? Which definitely know people like that. Number 3, look for the positive in all situations. There's always something that is happening for you, even if you don't know right now. Sometimes it takes 10 years to figure it out. Sometimes you have to wait till the next life to figure it out, which is really hard. But I'll say, if this is happening for me, what is the point? 4, learn how to identify negative thinking. So you got to catch that. You got to catch it when you're like, poor me. You got to catch it when it's that old belief, when it's somebody else's bullshit, when you're sucked into the news, when, you're driving in traffic and you hate everyone.
Do you follow that up with like thoughts? Try to get into that practice, like
You can, yeah, you can say cancel, clear, delete. Yeah. The first step is going to be recognizing.
Yeah.
So if you really own what your day looks like, really own it, right? Hindsight's 20/20. So if you just take that moment to even reflect how you behaved during the day, and then cancel, clear, delete. Tomorrow's going to be this, this, and that. That'd be great. Yeah. Cancel, clear, delete. Oh, learn how to be aware. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of this stuff hides from you. Because I'm a hypnotherapist, I catch so much of the subconscious programming people do. If you come to see me as a heal in a session, you'll be talking and like 10 minutes later, I'll go, can we go back to that word you said? Because for me, I'll see like, I guess it's hypno, it's also energy. I'll see like a neon sign on a core that we have to dig out. Right. But you've done it so often. It's been your whole life. It's the color of your eyes. You don't even see it. So then use positive affirmations, right? You got to see the ugly to do the other ones though. If you don't, it's just like putting icing on meatloaf. It's not going to taste good. And it's not going to get you what you want. It's kind of one of my favorite analogies. Doesn't make it a cupcake less. Then the last one is you want to start reframing the negative events in a more positive way. Right? So again, this is happening to me for a reason. Oh, look, I wanted to learn patience. That's awesome. This is honestly how I keep my optimism going, right? The seeing the brighter side, silver lining, all that stuff. It sounds like woo-woo bullshit, whatever. But if you don't, it's so easy to go down a dark tunnel. Human beings are naturally drawn to the negative. If you hear 10 positive things, somebody says one negative thing about you, you're going to remember that negative. You're going to forget all the positive. So fact is fact. You're going to have to do more work to remember the positive. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. Fact is fact, what are beliefs, right? So start sorting that out. Some things are facts are fact. So you can want to change it as much as you want, or can we move around it? Water flows around everything, right? When you learn to be fluid and flow through things, you can do anything. Anybody have any questions? Okay, so some ways you can use it are in your relationships. Can anybody think of how they can use it in their relationships?
Which?
The law of attraction. Right? So when we start breaking it down into small steps, bite-sized pieces, we can start making these bigger changes in our life. So personally, yeah, how can you use it?
I have noticed in my own life, for example, with my son, whenever I'm trying to get something from, I can't get it. And then whenever I like go out of love, he receives it and it's like a
Nice. Excellent. So you're using Les's theory of give before you receive. Nice. Also, you've set the intention or kind of expectation that when you behave this way, he behaves that way.
Yeah.
So you've actually changed a really cool thing, a really cool core thing, right? You've done something different. Nice. Anybody else think of a way they can use it in relationships?
You have to identify that person you're dealing with so you can come up with the approach.
Yeah. So, but how about like even bare basics? What kind of relationships can I attract? Right. And we can think about relationships in all ways. Like relationships could be the postal person. The relationship could be with my husband. The relationship is with my clients. Everybody I connect with in a day is a relationship. So if I bring it down to the bare basics of law of attraction, I'm going to attract relationships that feed my soul. Right? I feel I can do that. Even with the cashier. Right? We're going to have a connection. It's going to feel good. It's going to fill my soul. Right? So this way I can bring it into this category of my life. Right? And I can focus here and then play with it too and see, oh, wait, shit, I did do that. Right? I started attracting better people. I started attracting more opportunities. Right? I started attracting deeper relationships. We're all looking for connection. Right? We want to like feel heard and seen. Right? This work, like I said, it's like you can do a little bit of it or you just like expand it. It's so super cool. You can expand it into like a master level, which is what I think I'm at.
Yeah, you can just start by smiling.
Love it.
It's like the most simple thing. And then from there, it's just like a domino effect, right? Like they just the better. They smile back, even better.
Right.
It's like this most simple thing.
Do you know what your core belief is there?
A lot of it has to do with connection to others, connection to self, filling my life with joy, lots of play. I'm a very playful person.
Right.
So laughing and smiling and infusing joy in just what I do, whether it's alone or with other people, is like something that I always have to. So I just think that it's a core value.
And I think the core is you have the power over your reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lean even deeper into that. You have the power over your reality. Right? That would be more of a master level of attraction. I know I can already do it with a spa. What else can I? Right? So you've proven that to yourself, right? So once we start playing with the little games, a smile, then we can start playing with the bigger games. Oh, okay, that works. What else? I got goosebumps. What else can I do?
And it happens really fast.
If you do the work.
Notice
Yeah. Part of that is because we cleared a lot of the blocks. So if you're finding that it's not, there's some blockages that I would look into and ask myself, why am I stopping myself from doing it? What about me is saying I'm not ready for this yet? Yeah. Awesome. How can we use it in work? Well, better people to work for, Les. Excellent idea. Attracting better clients that pay on time. Attracting clients that pay your services without bartering or dickering or yes. So my core law of attraction for clients is people that need me, value me, can easily afford me, and are ready to see me. I added the ready because without the first three, I was firing people. I don't like to fire, but I will fire. So you have to be ready to see me. I'm not for the faint of heart. I am not going to sugarcoat things. If you come see me, we're making changes. Every week. Jane is one of my second long time seeing me, besides Rita. Yeah. No sugar. Work and money are different. So when we say work, this is more about the relationships and manifesting positive change, long-term goals, career opportunities. Money can come without work. That's my core belief. I just got like $800 worth of hair done for nothing.
Which looks great, by the way.
Well, thank you. There was like 9 people involved in this, so this is the thing. Right? So this is where, and money is not just cash, money is abundance. Money is things I didn't have to pay out. Right? Money is the deal, money is the sale, money is the The extras that I wasn't even expecting. Right? Everywhere I go, I get extras. I love it. I am spoiled rotten. I am absolutely spoiled rotten. Do I deserve it? Yeah, I do. Right? I core believe this at my soul that I deserve to be spoiled rotten. People bring me gifts. It's an amazing thing. Now, do I sound greedy or spoiled to you the way I say that? Because I don't have that healing to work on anymore. I had that before. I wasn't deserving of gifts. Or if somebody gave to me, I had to give back. Like I couldn't receive something without returning. Right? That was definitely something I had to work on. If you showed up with something, I would overgive. Right? And that wasn't the point. They just wanted to give. They just wanted me to accept it. So when I realized that, that really helped me. Ba, ba, ba. So instead of wishing for more, I want you to set some goals that you could achieve now and in the future. So now might be maybe 3 extra clients if you have your own job. Or 1 amazing. If you don't know what you're ordering, the universe can't give it to you. Right? One of the mentors in my new classes, he says, life is a buffet. You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything. You couldn't.
That's not like,
Right? So if you went out to eat and there was 20 things, you couldn't eat it all. So what are your top 3 that you want right now?
So I just listened to your first can and sent to me.
Yeah.
And she talks about so much. And she also talks about you have to be so careful. She's saying, she's a husband or someone that I love her or whatever, and they met all the criteria except she didn't say single or in her.
Oh, she missed a valid point.
That's everything this person wanted, but was married.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Very, very clear down to the concise details.
Available. Yeah.
Yeah. And all the criteria
Yeah.
was met.
And or better. So you don't have to pick a perfect, because that's a lot of pressure. You can say this or better. Right?
Yeah.
I want to sell 3 courses while I'm on vacation because I love to sell shit while I'm on vacation or better. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. You could just want red apples this week. I want to find the most delicious red apples at a price that is reasonable. Right? So this comes back to you got to believe it, right? You're not going to believe that you walk into a store and somebody's going to hand you a red apple for free. If you do, you'll be like, what do you want? That's kind of weird. Is it poison? So there's this little piece that you have to play with as a human. You have to believe it's possible.
Now, like a while ago, I probably was weird. Now I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's happening.
And now this is where spirituality can really help because we know the universe is infinite and unlimited. So even if my little self can't picture red apples for $2, the universe can send me red apples for $2. Right? Literally a month ago, if somebody told me I got my hair done for free, I'd be, that seems a little fishy. But I actually, this is true story. My hair was tangling and I was like, seriously, I need something to stop this. This is making me crazy. I need some solutions. Enter in an entire beauty school. Okay. And believe me, it is not tangling. So, or better, they could have sent me a detangler. That would have been okay. Right? Like I could have got a Facebook message, best detangler ever. My girlfriend could have told me about the detangler. There could have been all kinds of ways for it to come. I really like this way. Right? And when we allow the universe to do it in its infinite amazingness, then you're going to get wowed. Like part of my law of attraction is that I believe the universe can surprise me every single day, that I can be wowed every single day. And then I start looking for it. It's funny because I believe that. Then I start looking for it. I start looking for my places to get loved. I start looking for the messages. I start looking for the support. And what you focus on expands. So very, very important to include the spiritual end of it. The law of attraction is missing because when people are just stuck in their own human world and they don't believe that it's possible to get out of who they were born into, it's not going to happen for you. It might if it's a destiny piece, but only if it's a destiny piece. Right? Look, Oprah Winfrey, it was for destiny to be who she is. She did the work, but also she needed to be this person. This is who she chose to be. So there's like a couple things going on with it. So the last thing that I'd like to say that really it can help with is your better well-being. We behave in so many ways that sabotage our chances of happiness and our self-talk, right? We don't believe that we deserve to live this life. Or we think the suffering is just the way it's going to be. So if we can shift those cores, we think that we always have to put other people first. We think that we have to people please. We think that, you know, there's not enough money at the end of the day. We think that, you know, just because we're on a pension that we can't make any more money. We think that, I don't know, this box built on this box built on this box. And eventually what happens is you lose hope because you're so convinced of it that you see every single thing to support it. Every way you turn, you're getting the confirmations that's true. And it's really just because you're creating it. And it feels so obvious when I'm talking up here, but we have to figure it out in your lives. It's really fun if you play like counselor to somebody else because you can see it, right? So that's where journaling is a really good thing. And we'll talk about that. Tips for actually doing it. Journaling is my favorite because anytime I write something down, it gives me a degree of separation and I can see it, right? It's easier to see when it's here. Sometimes I write it down to and walk away. Because when you walk away and then come back to it, you get a different perspective. Right? I'll write something down in the morning. End of the day, I'll sit down and I'll look at it and go, oh, how did I miss that? Make a mood board. Has anybody created a vision board? So we create vision boards here, but there are definitely more mood boards. They're the mood of what you want to bring in. They're the not just the cash, they're the feeling luxury and wealth and pampered and right. Next one's an artist. But you can do it yourself too. You could also just write things out on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be like a super big crafty thing. Number 3 is practice acceptance. Instead of focusing on what's wrong about the present, what needs to be changed, what's broken, what's not right, wishing for things to be different, use all that beautiful energy to figure out the solutions. You spend 10 minutes bullshit talking yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. We know this. It's so funny. We totally know this. Yeah. What did you guys do this morning? Who talked nice to themselves this morning?
I did.
You did. What
I
did you
did.
say?
I literally spoke to myself, which I just started this year.
Nice.
Just positive things. Okay, the weather's ugly, but it's going to get better. Or, you know,
Okay.
little things that I'm not on, but I'll eat because I will get little things.
Perfect. I love it. You're starting with the because. Fantastic step. Fantastic step. We can even take it the next step. I love to nurture myself. I have this food to nurture myself. For the love of it. Oh my God. Just doing things for the love of it. Who imagines that? I do things for the love of it all the time. Just so you know. It was tricky for me though, because I only ever, especially like with crafting and stuff, I only ever made things because I could sell it. Right? I grew up in that world. You only invest in yourself if you can sell it. Is it going to make you money? Then you can invest. right? So that was a shift that I really had to work on. I just do shit for the fun of it. I give it away. My husband will ask me how much it costs. I'm like, you probably don't want to know. But like, no, I don't want to know.
Oh,
Yeah. When I first met him, I could go to a grocery store and buy everything down to the last penny. I could literally spend the last 50 cents in my wallet. Now I couldn't tell you what my breakfast cost this morning. Should I know? No. I ordered, I got, I tapped. It's perfect. It is really nice. Yeah, and am I still working on that? Yes, I'm still working on that. I want to go buy a car and not care. I want to buy my husband a car with cash, track actually, luxury, all the bells and whistles, with cash, and not negotiate. That's my core. I believe I can do that. Do you guys believe I can do that? Why can I do it, but you can't do it?
You're bringing it in. You're not bullshitting.
The only difference is I practice. There's nothing different between my skills and your skills. I'd like to say I'm special. I'm just fucking determined. And persistent. And maybe foolish. And so funny. Like I have been like accused. I'm gonna use the word accused of living in a fantasy world since I came into this world. Accused. As like it was the most terrible thing on the face of this earth. Right. And now I do what I do. I'm like, welcome to my imagination. This is my fucking imagination. This was a secret place. I am standing in a cooler. This was a walking cooler. I went, I am going to make that a crystal then. A crystal cave, actually. It's going to be a crystal cave. My husband went, a what? I'm like, oh yeah, it's happening, babe. And thank you. Not only did I do that, we did this in 45 days. I had 10 people working here part-time. And I did like 8 months worth of renos. So I'm not bragging. I'm telling you this shit's true, guys. You're following rules that somebody else set out that are bullshit. I swear a lot in my courses because I can. If you don't like it, don't come. So I have a really kind of a fun thing. So this is what you need your pen and paper for. So if you can find a new piece of paper. Now this is kind of a crazy psychic like woo exercise. Do it, love it, do it again, doesn't matter. Or never do it again. Folks. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna let you guys see it. Can everybody see it? Can you see it? Everybody see it? So in the middle, we're gonna start with a circle. As circle as you can do in the middle of your page. Circle. Got it? Got it? Okay, and we're gonna write the word now. Then we're gonna draw 5 lines, like rays of sunshine, and give them some space because you're gonna write in between them. Now, in these, I would like you to write 5 possibilities in one area of your life. Now, does everybody want to do money? Yeah, everybody likes money. You want to do something else? Okay, you can do something else. Money's the easiest one because mostly people like money. So you want to do different dollar amounts on each ray. Okay, if you're doing something else, you want to do different options on each ray, right? So say I was doing like a house. One option could be homeless. One option could be building my own house. And in between is going to be degrees of differences. Does that make sense to everyone? Right? So say you're starting your own business. So one could be shit wearing somebody else's uniform. And the other one could be having a franchise or.
So it's not in any kind of.
You want to grow it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, start crappy and then grow up. Yeah, so for the dollar signs, I did 10,000, 100,000, 25, 125,000, 150,000, and did 400,000.
And then you're adding the statement to correlate with.
No, right now we're just doing a number or a statement.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it's either a situation or a number. Yeah. So it depends what you're doing it for. So if it's career, it's gonna be a little bit more of a sentence. If it's cash, it's just gonna be a number. Does that make sense to everyone? And for fun, this is what we're doing. Now, it is a serious thing. But when we do things for fun, the energy has a chance to go through, right? So energy goes through like this. Everybody sees that? If we're worried and we're stressed and we think it's a big deal, it's going to go through like this. So we're not going to get it. But we need to do it for fun. So do something light, right? Then over here, you're going to write the words parallel universe. This actually, there's supposed to be an S. Universes. Now, with your highlighter or Sharpie, I'd like you to circle the one that you want right now. Do you know which one you want right now, or are you still on the decide?
I cannot decide what subject.
Okay.
There's two in mind.
We'll do one today, and then you can do the other one when you go home. Because you can do this as my gift to you. Do this forever. Do it 65 times a day. Again, with no stress. Once you do it, it's a once and done. We're not even going to worry about it. I'll wait for you. Okay. Build the base, let me know. Now comes the magic part. You're going to take your magic finger, your magic pen. You're going to draw a star over that one. And that's going to activate it with the highlighter. You could also do it. You can trace it with your finger. And I want you to write in that circle how you're going to feel when you get it. Are you finally going to feel like you belong? Are you going to feel fulfilled? Are you feel excited? Are you going to feel safe? I want you to be honest with this about what you're going to feel. Because a lot of the reasons that people want money is because they need to feel safe. And underneath that, I want you to write, I now activate this reality. How you're going to feel? Yeah, write how you're going to feel. Right? Now, remember a couple extra things we're going to do. We're going to say, or better. And in my greatest good. And now activate this reality, or better, in my greatest good. Yes? In this way, you cannot mess it up. So if you're on your best timeline, amazing. Going on your best timeline, and you activate to win $1 million, but it shifts you off your best timeline, you're going to be pissed off. So that's why we say, or better, in our greatest good. And this is the missing piece when people usually do these kind of manifestations. That makes sense? Then they have to go back and forth the timelines and because money doesn't buy happiness. And so yeah, they all of a sudden got the cash, but now they got nothing else. So what happens is, unfortunately, because we're humans and we like to take control of everything, we end up actually using our magic to mess up the life that was already divinely designed for us. Because we think something's missing. And that's a fact to lean into. This life has been divinely designed for you. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording here.